Hi, good morning, everybody. My name's John, and I'm here to talk to. I'm actually making a rebuttal video. A guy came on here on YouTube and was talking about tone for the beginner. And he went on an hour and 40-minute diatribe of a totally different road than I happen to be on. And I wanted to introduce you to my road and let you know that that guy's road isn't the only road. He was quite opinionated and condescending, which that's his way. It's not mine. And he had a custom guitar built with no knobs on it. Well, I have a custom guitar built by Jerry Mathis at Arizona Custom Guitars, and mine has knobs, and they work, and they do special things too. See, look, ooh, push-pull switches on every one of them, and they all do something different. Really quickly, tone is an ambiguous statement. It's a layer of attitudes. It's you start with a single coil pickup or a double coil pickup. Let's say you're going to make a guitar. Well, what pickups do you want? They sound different. Look, double coil pickup is quieter than a single coil pickup. You hear that? I just went to single coil. You hear the extra buzz? That's just typical single coil operation. So your tone starts with your guitar, and every guitar is going to sound different. A hollow body electric is going to sound different than a solid body electric, and then you're going to have differences with pickups. When I had this guitar made, I wanted a guitar that did a lot of things in one package, if you will. So tone starts with your guitar. These are hand wound pickups. Scatter winding allows for more harmonics and brighter tones as opposed to machine straight winding of the coils. So there's differences. Over to the amp. This is a vintage Marshall amp that was also gone through by Jerry at Arizona Custom, and it runs good on EL34s. There was a time when the power tubes were different, and then Jerry also put in some different preamp tubes for me. And really quickly, the one thing the guy was right about was when you first set the tone on your guitar, crank everything up loud. Crank it all up, everything up to 10. All your tones are up, all your volumes are up. Crank your gain, at least on my Marshall. The preamp tubes are controlled by the gain knobs right here. I got the rhythm gain all the way up, and I've got the lead gain down around 16. Oh, and really quickly, I'm making a separate audio recording on a Tascam, which I will have available because I'm just recording this video on my phone, and the audio is just going to get smashed out when I start playing. You'll hear some of it, and you'll hear some of what I'm saying, but I would suggest I'll have a link to the file, the separate audio file, where you can just listen to what I'm talking about with these guitar tones. And now I'm going to get into tube character. Solid state solid state amplifiers will take your guitar signal and try and keep it exactly the same. On a tube amp, it's a little different. What I can do on a tube amp is change what the preamp sees, and that's exactly it. This signal is pre-amplified. That's why it's called preamp. So this is where you get all your fat, heavy gains. So to start off with, crank everything up. Everything's all cranked up. You get a nice fat rock tone. Great rock sound. That's it. I'm maxed out. Set your amp and forget it. Set it and forget it. Because now I'm going to switch to the neck pickup. It's a little fatter. I'll play that same riff, but we're on the neck pickup, which is fatter. So what I can do now is roll the volume knob down. Ooh, roll the volume knob down. Scary. It's not bad. Roll the volume knob down and listen. also goes by my attack. I can hit the strings real soft, or I can hit the strings real hard. I haven't changed the volume. It's still down around 7. And I got all that gain back. And what you're doing is you're controlling the signal from the guitar to the preamp tubes and causing them to either work or not work. So when you roll the volume down, you're not feeding the preamp tubes everything they can have, and so you can get these nice clean tones. Then if I roll the volume up, I can get some of that gain back if I want. If you listen, I haven't lost a whole lot of volume in just that little bit. I'm only going down to about 7 is about the lowest you ever have to go. And you're right there, all nice and clean. Puppers just ran through. Switch to single coil and go even cleaner. That's what your volume knobs do. They control the gate to the preamp tubes, and they either are making the preamps tubes work really hard, or they're cutting them out and not letting them work hard enough, which will give you the cleaner tones. The more you feed it, the more saturated and the more gain you'll get. And that's tube amp character. Like I said, a solid state amp will try and keep the signal the same, so it doesn't have the same response as a tube amp has. I would strongly suggest that you look at who inspires you, who talks to your heart and soul about your tone and what you want. You know, you hear this guitar lick and you go, "Oh, that sounds so incredible," and then you listen and see, you know, what he's doing. One of the tones I really loved was the overdriven, really fat leads on the neck pickup for a double coil. You get that fat kind of Gary Moore. Slash, Guns N' Roses, you know, lots of solo work on the neck pickup, you know, you just, that's where your tone gets set, and you roll the volume in and out to control the amount of gain you're giving it. While your singer's singing, you want to roll out a little bit and just kind of lay back and let him do his thing. The bass player's probably doing some tasty stuff, and you want to make sure you can hear him. You're in a band, you're working in a cohesive unit. A lot of times, less is more when you're playing, you know, vintage music. You want to hear the strings of your guitar. So I'm really happy with the Marshall when it gives me enough overdrive and enough gain to get me mean and crunchy, but I can also roll the volume out and get nice and clean. And that's tube character, and that's what the volume knobs on your guitar do. This guitar also does a bunch of other things as far as tone goes. I can switch. I can run. Every one of these is different. I can run the single coil out of phase. This is a super humbucker, and I can add a little bit of gain just by pulling this switch. This is the only pickup on the planet I know of that goes to 11. I roll this up to 10. You can hear it. So that's a really special feature of this guitar. I love it. But as far as setting your tone, starts with the guitar and goes to the amplifier, and you control a tube amp with the volume, and what you're doing is controlling the gain in the preamp section of the amp. That is classic. That's the way the old school guys did it, and what the volume knobs are for. You can go ahead and take the volume knobs off your guitar if you choose, but I've chosen obviously a very different route. That's what music's all about. Everybody can choose their own path, and I encourage you to do that as well. Uh, have fun, make some awesome music, and I hope that this was a little bit helpful for you beginners that are wondering what the heck is all this tone stuff and overloaded with all this stuff. You look down at what I've got on the floor. I've got the amp switch, just goes from A to B channel. I have MXR delay and MXR phase and original Crybaby. That's all I've got on the floor. There's no stomp box for added distortion. There's no it's really simple. I like to keep everything really simple, really straightforward, and you work with finesse, volume, and your guitar to create these different sounds and sonic vibrations. I hope this was helpful, and I encourage you to explore your own avenues. Take it easy.